as I keep doing these videos, I come up with a new component that I want to give a little tabletop review to. So this one's going to be on this optic. This is a Vortex Strike Eagle 1:6 adjustable scope for 3-gun. It's a great entry level 3-gun scope. It's about $300. You can find it for a little less. I think Amazon is $300 and there's a free hat or something. I might have paid $270 or $280 for it when I bought it. Not sure on Gunbroker. Usually is, if you are patient, you can find things a little cheaper on there. So I'm not sure what the cheapest you can get it for, but everyday price between like $280 and $300 for this scope. I had never spent even that much on a scope. And I started out with a 3 to 9 power UTG, Leapers UTG scope, because I originally built this gun. I wanted to shoot out, a little bit longer range. It was primarily a target gun, and then, maybe I would hunt with it, but it was mostly a target gun and home defense. Just wanted to have a rifle around just in case type of gun. So I've changed this to a 3-gun rifle and wanted something that went down to no magnification, so that, here in southeast Michigan, we don't have, our 3-gun matches don't really go out super far. Maybe 100 yards would be the most at most places. The big matches might have something a little further than that, 200 yards or something. But we're not talking lots of 100 to 500 yard shots. It's mostly CQB style, fast shooting on the move, where you don't need magnification. Actually don't want magnification, because you want to keep both eyes open and just use the red dot function. So a red dot actually functions for most people where I'm primarily playing the game, but I wanted some magnification because I don't shoot a ton of matches, and I like to shoot out a little farther when I'm at the range. So and then just in case, 6x is much easier for someone like me who's not a great shooter to hit a 100-yard target than a 1x, where a more experienced person is probably shooting out to a couple 100 yards without magnification. But anyways, so I wanted an adjustable range, and 1 through 6 is kind of the standard, because the 1 through 8s are significantly more expensive. So I was looking at this. My previous 3 to 9 UTG scope was under $100. It was fine. It did what it was supposed to do. This, as an entry-level 3-gun, is far superior glass to that UTG scope, and really is just to an untrained eye like me, I've never shot $1,000 glass. I know it's better, but I'd have a hard time imagining it being better, if that makes sense. I know once you shoot it you would know the difference, but I'm not trying to claim this is $1,000 on par scope. But to me, for what I use this gun for, even if I redid a fancy, made this a $2,000 super expensive rifle, custom built for 3-gun, I don't know that I would spend much more money than this for the type of 3-gun shooting that I do. Your mileage is going to vary, for what you want to get out of it and what your budget is. But so I'm using the Aero Precision, lightweight, low profile, angled, I think, what do they call it, cantilever mount on rings, built-in, integrated rings. That's been super solid. I would do this Aero Precision mount again, no problem. I've never had this. I don't shoot a ton right now, and over, since I got this scope, I haven't shot a ton, maybe 500 rounds or so. But it does I practice at home with dry fire. It gets banged around a little bit, in and out of its cases and to and from the range. It's held 0 since the time I've set it. So, I'm not as rough on it as a 3-gunner that's shooting every week. But I wouldn't hesitate to go, you know, the Aero Precision mount again, and I wouldn't hesitate to go with the scope again. So it's 1 through 6. You can get a throw lever. This is the magnification adjustment here. You can get a throw lever to make this easier so it sticks out, and you know, but it's just a simple rotation. Nice and tight lock up. Here the fit is fantastic, which, you know, you would expect out of a nice scope, because any movement is going to decrease accuracy. It came with the flips. Some people just take them off. I leave them on because I don't know, I don't want dust and stuff getting in there. And there's no great way for me to set this up so that you can see the reticle, and there's plenty of videos on that. But the scope, 1 through 6 scope, has been great. I personally wouldn't spend any more money on a 3-gun scope. You know, you're throwing these guns around unless you did a lot of matches with longer range shooting. I think this is all you really need. You can do, it's illuminated reticle, so you can, you know, flip this around here. Again, you're not going to be able to see the light, but, you know, it's just a simple on. There's different adjustments. You can hear the clicks, maybe, you know, for different brightness settings on the illumination. And when this is on 1x and you turn this, the red dot on, it's essentially a nice red dot scope. And then when you turn the magnification up, it's a good long range scope as well. So, you know, you can do a little everything with it, and which is the point of a 3-gun scope. For me, flip it back around. This gun's clear. I've done about 8 or 9 videos here in one sitting. So the gun's clear. For me, I typically, for eye relief, it's got a pretty wide range for, you know, compared to cheap scopes that I've used. You know, that's where my experience lies, is with cheaper scopes. But, you know, my range of view is pretty good on this, you know, to where I'm getting in a good spot and a good cheek, consistent cheek weld. I have a little bit of play, and I can still see clearly the reticle. So with any kind of practice, you can, this works, you know, it's a good, you know, solid cheek weld, and you got a nice clear sight picture. It's thin enough, and it would be even better if I took this ring off, the cap off. But when you get it up and, you know, your cheek weld's in the right spot, you can see around the scope, but still keep an eye on the reticle, so you can use it just like a red dot. Like I said, this little extra diameter added by the cap is really the only thing I can pick up when I get this up to my face. You know, if I took that off, it's like a clear sight picture, so you can shoot both eyes open and move around and mow down those paper targets. So Strike Eagle 1 through 6, I've got affiliate links for that for Amazon if you want to help out my channel. If not, you know, who cares? It's, you know, it's a great scope. Just find a way to get it on your gun.